I just found out my pregnant wife is planning to divorce me after the baby is born. The baby isn't mine. I don't even know where to start. My hands are shaking as I type this. I need to get this out somewhere because I can't tell anyone I know yet, not until I figure out what to do. My wife and I have been married for 4 years. We tried for a baby for over a year before she finally got pregnant 6 months ago. When she told me, I was on cloud 9. I'm talking full on crying, calling my parents at midnight, the whole thing. I've wanted to be a dad my entire adult life. These past 6 months have been everything I imagined. Going to ultrasounds together, setting up the nursery, arguing about baby names in that fun way where neither of us is actually mad. I picked up extra shifts at work to build up our savings. My wife seemed happy. More than happy, honestly. She was glowing. Yesterday, I left work early with a migraine. I get them occasionally and my boss is cool about it. I got home around 2 p.m., which is way earlier than usual. I came in through the garage and I could hear my wife on the phone in the kitchen. She was talking to her sister. I was about to announce myself when I heard something that made me freeze in the hallway. Once this baby's born, I'm done with him. He'll still have to pay though. The house is in both our names. I'll get child support, probably alimony too. He makes good money. This is the smart play. I stood there like someone had dumped ice water over my head. She kept talking. She's been having an affair for over a year. With some guy from her gym, I think, though she didn't say his name. She said I'm boring but predictable and easy to manage. The baby is definitely not mine. She's been planning this whole thing. Get me to provide for the pregnancy, establish paternity by default since we're married, then file for divorce and take me for everything she can. Her sister apparently suggested she just stay married, but my wife said she deserves to be happy, and once she has the baby secured, she can finally be with someone exciting. I don't know how long I stood there. 5 minutes, 20. Eventually, I backed out of the house as quietly as I came in. I sat in my car in the driveway for over an hour just staring at nothing. The thing is, I had to go back in. I had to act normal, so I did. I came in at my regular time and she kissed me like she always does. Showed me some baby clothes she bought, asked about my day. We ate dinner. We watched TV. She fell asleep with her head on my shoulder. I lay awake all night, staring at the ceiling, feeling like I was sleeping next to a stranger. Worse than a stranger. Someone actively plotting to destroy my life. This morning, I called a lawyer. Not to file for divorce yet, but to understand what I'm dealing with. He asked if I have any proof. I don't have a recording of the phone call, just my word. He said I need to be strategic about this. Here's what I learned. There are prenatal paternity tests now. Non-invasive ones. They take the mother's blood, compare it with the father's DNA. Completely safe for the baby, costs about $1,500. The lawyer said if I can prove the baby isn't mine before it's born, I'm in a much stronger position legally. So here's what I did. I told my wife I wanted to surprise her with a special boutique 3D ultrasound experience as a gift. She loved the idea. I scheduled it for Friday at a place that actually does prenatal paternity testing. I already submitted my DNA sample yesterday. They'll take her blood during the appointment, do the ultrasound to keep up appearances, and I'll have results in 2 weeks. My wife has no idea. She's been walking around talking about the gender reveal party she wants to throw. Big one, she says. Both families, all our friends. She wants to do the whole smoke cannon thing, the Instagram perfect setup. I told her I think that's a great idea. I said we should go all out. Because here's the thing, Reddit. If those test results come back the way I think they will, if they confirm what she said on that phone call, I'm not going to quietly hand her my life on a silver platter. She wants a party. I'll give her a party she'll never forget. The appointment is tomorrow. I'll update once I know for sure. Edit. For everyone asking why I don't just confront her now, the lawyer was very clear. Without proof, it becomes he said, she said. In a divorce, the courts can establish paternity by default since we're married. I could end up paying child support for 18 years for a kid that isn't mine. I need that test result as leverage. Once I have proof, I have options. Update 1. Holy shit, Reddit. The past 2 weeks have been the longest of my life, so the boutique ultrasound appointment went exactly as planned. My wife was over the moon about it. She kept posting on Instagram about how thoughtful I am. The technician showed us some 3D images. We got a few printout photos, and they took the blood sample without her knowing what it was really for. She thought it was just part of their premium package. The results came back 4 days ago. 0% probability of paternity. I sat in my car outside the testing facility with that paper in my hands for I don't know how long. Part of me had hoped I'd heard wrong, that maybe I'd misunderstood the phone call, that there was some explanation, but no, it's right there in black and white, confirmed by a licensed laboratory. This baby is not mine. I went home that night and she was in the nursery, folding tiny clothes. She looked up at me with this huge smile and said, "Can you believe we're going to meet our baby soon?" She was being coy about the gender, wanting to keep it a surprise for the party. But the test also told me it's a boy. She doesn't know I know that either. I said something like it's amazing and left the room before I lost it. Here's what I've been doing instead of falling apart. I've been planning. My lawyer has been worth every penny. Here's the situation. The gender reveal party is this Saturday. My wife has gone full event planner mode. She rented a venue, invited about 70 to 80 people, hired a photographer. Both our families are coming, all our friends. She ordered a blue smoke cannon because she got the clinic to tell her it's a boy. She thinks I don't know yet. She wants to capture my surprised reaction on camera. I let her plan everything. I've been the supportive husband. I even suggested we rent a projector and screen to show a photo montage. She loved that idea. What she doesn't know is what I'm going to put on that screen. I've prepared a presentation. Slide 1, prenatal paternity test results. Slide 2, the lab report showing 0% probability. Slide 3, the certified affidavit from the testing facility confirming the results and methodology. All of it official, all of it documented, all of it impossible to deny. My lawyer has the divorce papers ready to file first thing Monday morning. We've built the entire case around fraud, because that's what this is, paternity fraud. In our state, that affects everything, property division, alimony, all of it. For a while, I did think about trying to find out who the real father is. Hire a PI, dig through her phone records, follow her. But honestly, what's the point? It doesn't change anything. Whether he's some gym bro or a coworker or whoever, it doesn't matter. The baby isn't mine. That's all I need to know. Spending time and money tracking him down just keeps me trapped in her mess. I'm done with that. I know some of you are going to say I'm an asshole for doing this publicly. Maybe I am. But she was going to let me raise another man's child, take my money, take my house, and then leave me anyway. She was going to do all of that while I smiled like an idiot, believing I was building a family. This way, at least everyone knows the truth at the same time. Her family, my family, everyone. No one can rewrite the narrative later. She wanted a party. She's getting one. The smoke cannon goes off at 4 p.m. on Saturday. I'll be showing my presentation at 4:05. I'll update you all next week. Edit. Yes, I'm sure about the test. It's from a certified lab that does this for legal cases. I have the chain of custody documentation and everything. My lawyer reviewed it. This isn't some sketchy online thing. Update 2. I'm writing this from my brother's house. I can't go home yet. I don't know if I can ever look at that house the same way again. Saturday happened. The party, I went through with it. My wife was so happy that morning. She couldn't sleep Friday night. She was so excited. She was up at 6 a.m. doing her hair and makeup. She kept asking me if I was nervous to find out the gender. I told her I was just happy to celebrate with everyone. We got to the venue around 2 p.m. She was directing the setup like a wedding planner. The blue smoke cannon was sitting in a box. The photographer was checking angles. People started arriving around 3 p.m. My parents were there, her parents. Her sister who I'd heard on that phone call. My brother and his wife, friends from work, neighbors, probably 75 people total. Everyone was congratulating us, asking me if I was ready to be a dad, telling my wife how beautiful she looked. I played the part. I smiled. I thanked everyone. I nodded at everything they said. I stood next to my wife with my hand on her back while she posed for photos, glowing like the perfect mother-to-be. At 4 p.m., we gathered everyone outside for the reveal. My wife and I stood in front of the smoke cannon. Everyone had their phones out. The photographer was ready. We did the countdown. 3, 2, 1. Blue smoke exploded everywhere. Everyone started cheering. It's a boy. People were hugging us. My mom was crying. Her mom was crying. For about 30 seconds, it was exactly what my wife had wanted. Perfect. Instagram ready. Everyone celebrating. Then I stepped away and picked up the microphone. Before we cut the cake, I have one more announcement, I said. A little surprise for everyone here. I walked over to where we'd set up the projector. My wife was smiling, probably thinking I was about to give some emotional speech. Her sister looked curious. Everyone was watching. I turned on the projector. The first slide came up on the screen. Prenatal paternity test, non-invasive DNA analysis. The second line, probability of paternity, 0%. It took about 3 seconds for people to process what they were seeing. The noise died instantly. You could have heard a pin drop. My wife's face went white. What is this? I clicked to the next slide. The full lab report, my name, her name, the baby's profile, the methodology, the results, all of it official and certified. This is a paternity test, I said, and my voice was steady even though my hands weren't. It shows that I am not the biological father of the baby. The crowd erupted, not cheering this time, gasping, shouting, confusion. My mother-in-law started crying in a completely different way than before. My father-in-law shouted, "What the hell is going on?" My wife was shaking her head. No, that's not real. He's making it up. He faked this to humiliate me." I clicked to the next slide, the affidavit from the lab, the certification, the credentials. "I overheard you on the phone with your sister 3 weeks ago," I said, loud enough for everyone to hear. "You said once the baby comes, you don't need me anymore. You've been planning to divorce me, take the house, get child support. You thought I'd never find out the baby isn't mine." Her sister had gone pale. Her mom was asking her if it was true. Her dad was standing there looking like he'd been punched. My wife tried to recover. She started crying. "You're doing this in front of everyone. You're humiliating me while I'm pregnant." "You were going to humiliate me for the next 18 years, I said. "You were going to take everything from me while I raised another man's child thinking he was mine. I'm just making sure everyone knows the truth." I looked at the crowd. Some people were staring at me, some at her. Some were already backing toward their cars. "Divorce papers will be filed Monday morning," I continued. "I'm not the father. I won't be claiming this child. We'll do another paternity test after the birth to confirm for legal purposes, but this lab is certified for court use. The results are legitimate." I was about to walk away when my wife suddenly clutched her stomach and dropped to her knees. "Ow, oh God, something's wrong." She started breathing heavily, holding her belly. "The baby, I'm having pains." Her mom rushed over. Her sister started panicking. A few guests pulled out their phones. I stood there for a second watching her performance. Then I pulled out my phone, completely calm. "I'm calling 911 right now." I started dialing, put it on speaker so everyone could hear. My wife's eyes went wide. "Wait, what's the emergency?" I said to the air, pretending the operator had picked up. "My wife is having pregnancy complications. Yes, we need an ambulance immediately." "No, wait, stop," my wife said, suddenly sitting up straighter. "Don't call them." "Why not?" I looked at her, then at the crowd. "If something's wrong with the baby, you need medical attention. An ambulance will be here in minutes." I don't need an ambulance." "Are you sure? Because you were just on the ground screaming about the baby." I kept my finger over the dial button. "Ambulance rides cost about $2,000 to $3,000, by the way, plus the ER visit." "That'll be your bill, not mine, but if the baby's really in danger, that's worth it, right?" She stood up, brushed off her dress. "Actually, I'm feeling better now. The pain stopped." I looked at her, then at her family, then back at her. "Miracle recovery, how convenient." Her mom looked mortified. Even her sister had stopped rushing to help, standing there awkwardly. Then I walked away. I left her standing there in front of the projector, in front of everyone, with the blue smoke still hanging in the air. I got in my car and drove to my brother's place. My phone has been exploding for 2 days. Her family is losing their minds. My family is in shock. Friends are taking sides. It's a complete disaster. Her sister has been posting vague things on social media about abandoning pregnant women and men who don't understand that biology doesn't matter. A few people who were at the party have commented calling her out. She deleted the posts, but screenshots exist. My wife has been calling from different numbers. She showed up at my work parking lot yesterday afternoon. I didn't engage. She was crying, saying we need to talk, that she was confused and scared when she said those things, that she does love me. I got in my car and left. My lawyer says we're in good shape. With the paternity test and the circumstances, she has no claim to alimony. The house was purchased with my money before we married, even though her name got added later. We can likely prove fraud in that case too. He's already sent her lawyer all the documentation. The real father is apparently refusing to acknowledge paternity. My wife contacted him apparently, and according to her sister's angry texts to me, he's saying he needs to see a test first before he commits to anything. So now my wife is stuck between a man who knows he's not the father and a man who won't admit he is. I'm staying at my brother's for now. Court date is in 3 weeks. The baby is due in about 3 months. After the birth, we'll do another paternity test for the official legal record, and then my lawyer will move to have me removed from any birth certificate claims and parental obligation. This is really happening. My marriage is over. The future I thought I had is gone, but at least I'm not living in her lie anymore. Final update. It's been 4 months since my last update, and honestly I wasn't sure I'd ever post again. But I've gotten a lot of messages asking how everything turned out, and I figure I owe this community closure since you all supported me through the worst of it. The baby was born 3 weeks ago. A boy, like the test said. 7 pounds, 4 ounces. My ex-wife's mother posted photos on Facebook. I didn't look at them for long. The day after the birth, my lawyer filed for the court-ordered paternity test. We had the results within 72 hours. 0% probability of paternity. Again, no surprises, but we needed it for the legal record. Here's what happened that I did not expect. 2 days after the test results came back, I got a call from an unknown number. I almost didn't answer, but something made me pick up. It was the real father. Turns out my ex finally gave him my number because, in her words, she needed help convincing me to do the right thing. This guy actually called me asking if I would consider stepping up anyway because it takes a village, and he's not ready to be a full-time dad. I'm not kidding. He genuinely thought I might co-parent a child that isn't mine with a woman who tried to defraud me just to make his life easier. I told him what he could do with that suggestion and hung up. Then I forwarded the recording to my lawyer because yes, I recorded it. I record everything now. That recording actually helped in court. See, my ex-wife's lawyer had been trying to argue that I should pay temporary support until the real father could be established and served. Her lawyer claimed there was doubt about whether my ex knew who the real father was. That phone call proved she knew exactly who he was the whole time and that they'd been in contact all along. Judge was not impressed. Final court date was last Tuesday. I've been putting off writing this until it was completely done because I didn't want to jinx anything. The divorce is final. The paternity issue is resolved. I am legally not the father. My name is not on the birth certificate. I have no financial obligation. The house is mine. My retirement accounts are mine. She gets nothing. No alimony, no assets, no claim to anything. She even had to pay her own legal fees, so that's it. Legally, it's over. But life keeps moving, and here's the real update. The real father is on the birth certificate now. Court ordered it based on the paternity test my ex finally forced him to take. He's paying child support, but that's about all he's doing. Last I heard from mutual friends, they tried to make it work for about 6 weeks after the baby was born, moved in together and everything. Turns out living with a newborn isn't as exciting as sneaking around behind someone's back. He worked nights, didn't help with feedings, complained about the crying. My ex expected him to step up and be a family man. He expected her to handle everything while he kept living his life. They fought constantly. He moved out after she threw his PlayStation out the window during an argument about dirty diapers. Now they can barely stand to be in the same room for custody exchanges. Her mom does the handoffs most of the time. Turns out exciting doesn't translate to reliable father figure. Shocking, I know. My ex is living with her parents. Her sister hasn't spoken to me since the party, but I heard through the grapevine that there's tension in that family now. Apparently, her parents blame her sister for encouraging the affair. Her dad actually reached out to my dad to apologize, which was unexpected. I haven't responded. Maybe I will eventually, maybe not. As for me, I sold the house. I couldn't stay there. Every room had memories I didn't want anymore. I moved to a neighborhood across town, got a 2-bedroom apartment with a balcony view of the park. It's mine, just mine. No ghosts. I converted what would have been the 2nd bedroom into a home office. I've been working from home more, throwing myself into projects. Got a promotion last month, actually. Turns out when you're not being emotionally sabotaged at home, you have a lot more energy for your career. But I'm not going to pretend everything is all good and perfect now. Some days are better than others. I still get angry sometimes. I still have moments where I can't believe this was my life. I'm grieving the future I thought I had, and I'm working on believing that's legitimate grief even though the relationship was based on a lie. Speaking of which, the video did spread. Someone who was there posted it on TikTok. It got removed eventually, but not before it had like 2 million views. For a few weeks I was a minor internet character. Gender reveal guy. People were split in the comments. Some thought I was a hero. Some thought I was cruel. I deleted most of my social media after that. Didn't need the attention. Last week something weird happened. I ran into my ex-wife's best friend at the grocery store. We used to have dinner with her and her husband regularly. She stopped, looked at me and said, "I'm sorry, we didn't know. She told us you were being paranoid and controlling if we'd known the truth." She didn't finish. I told her it was okay. I don't know if it is okay, but what else do you say? I'm not the same person I was at that gender reveal party. I don't know if that person even exists anymore. But whoever I am now, I'm not living in someone else's lie. I'm not waiting for the other shoe to drop. I know exactly where I stand. My lease is up in 4 months. I'm thinking about moving to a different city. Maybe Portland, maybe Austin. Somewhere I can completely start over where nobody knows me as that guy. I've been saving aggressively, building up my emergency fund. I want options. The nursery furniture went to a donation center. I couldn't bring myself to sell it. Some family out there is using the crib and changing table I bought. At least it's not going to waste. I don't talk to my ex-wife. She tried to message me through Facebook a few weeks ago, something about hoping I can find peace. I didn't respond. There's nothing left to say. She made her choices. I made mine. We both have to live with the consequences. Someone asked me in a message if I hate her. Honestly, I don't think I do anymore. I don't feel much of anything when I think about her. She's like a character from a movie I watched once. I remember the plot, but she's not real to me anymore. The person I married never existed. The woman I knew was a performance. You can't hate a ghost. The court stuff is over. The legal nightmare is done. The emotional recovery is ongoing, but I'm here. I'm intact. I'm building something new. And I swear to God, when I'm ready, if I ever get married again and have kids for real, gender reveals are permanently banned. That's it. That's the end of the story. Thank you, Reddit. You helped more than you know.